All right, we want to bring Dr. Sam Nelson back in from the University of Toledo. We've been watching some of these races, and speaking of the Marcy Kaptur, J.R. Majewski race, you pointed to kind of what you're calling a bellwether situation that's happened in Virginia that people have been watching because there are some similarities there. Talk about that.
Virginia 7, Abigail Spanberger's district, is kind of like Marcy Kaptur's district, that it was redrawn, going to be a lot more competitive. One of the races people nationally were following, that if there was going to be a big red wave, Abigail Spanberger would lose, and she's now won that race. Marcy's claiming that she's won this race. So these ones seem to have stayed in the Democratic side, which suggests that the Republican pickups are going to be smaller than some people were predicting the last couple weeks.
With the J.D. Vance-Tim Ryan race, we are seeing some of the national outlets talk about, Tim Ryan was strong in Lucas County. He was strong in down into the Columbus area, Cincinnati area, Cleveland area. You said that plays out again and again, time after time. But my question to you before you came out here today, Doctor, was talking about, we saw Tim Ryan here so much playing to his home base, right? It was a home field advantage. And we saw Nan Whaley here. Tim Ryan's trailing right now. Nan Whaley already lost.
Right. Turnout's everything in a race like this, and so you want to concentrate where your voters are. And so you're going to focus on where you think you can turn out some big numbers, tens of thousands of voters, rather than in a county which maybe you could only turn out a few thousand voters.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be interesting because sometimes wouldn't you expect that those two might show some similarities? You'd be watching one and kind of expecting a similar result in the other?
I think even if Tim Ryan doesn't end up winning this race, other Democrats around the country are going to look at, why did he overperform the governor candidate? What was the secret sauce in the Tim Ryan campaign that made it more competitive? Close only counts horseshoes, right?
Right.
But you still learn things from the candidates who are overperforming President Biden 2 years ago, overperforming their gubernatorial candidates, and so on. That's going to be really interesting to look at in a bunch of different states.
And these state house races, even the national races we are watching, they are still nip and tuck, a lot of them, here at this. We're almost a few minutes before 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite a while before we know the final numbers. That's what we saw in 2018. It took several weeks for the final vote counts to really tell us what the House was going to look like, and we may have to wait a while.
It's fun to watch, though.
Dr. Sam Nelson from the University of Toledo will be joining us in our 11 o'clock hour in just about 7 minutes from now over on WTOL 11. A short break. We'll be right back.